Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me here today on the Agora experience. I am your host, Tazari Jurevich. In this episode, I will be giving you a basic quick start tour of Egora. See, normally this program is about using the Agora to facilitate a discussion between me and a guest on the program, and we discuss the various ideas inside of Egora. But in this episode, I will be giving you an overview and introduction on how to actually use this technology. Now, for those of you who are completely new, Egora is a new kind of networking platform that was built and published in January of this year, 2020, by the International Logic Party. This platform gives people real political power, and it actually makes democracy rational, efficient, and incorruptible. But let me briefly explain to you the theory behind that. Imagine you have a small society, like a village or a small town, let's say 30 or even 300 people. If those people want to have a real democracy, they can all come together maybe once a week and they can have a town hall meeting. And in that town hall meeting, everyone will get to speak out to voice their ideas, opinions, and concerns. It doesn't matter if they are rich or poor, because if everyone takes a turn to speak, they all have the same ability to be heard by everyone else. There is enough time for all of that to happen. Time is the key factor here. However, humans do not live in small societies like that anymore. We have societies of millions and billions of people, and it is impossible for us to all have one big town hall meeting where everyone gets to speak and be heard by everyone else on equal terms. So what happens is that rich people end up having more power because they have more money to gain access to all of the different media channels, TV, radio, even YouTube. Basically anything where you can leverage money for advertising and promotion. So the message of the rich is the one that gets more exposure. Wealth becomes political power. But I'm not trying to disparage the rich right now. I'm just saying that they can afford to be much better represented politically than the lower economic classes in a large-scale society. However, Egora changes all of that. This is Egora. Egora is the worldwide stock market of ideas. And what is amazing about Egora is that by using the technology of a stock market for ideas, not for corporations and money, we're able to recreate that same dynamic that people have in small societies in very large societies. In other words, the same way that people can communicate and connect in a small group where everyone's voice is pretty much equal, we can do that in a group of any size by applying the stock market theory to organizing information. But actually, this is even better than the democracy of that original town hall meeting. Using a stock market for ideas actually turns everyone who uses it into a political philosopher. Basically, it makes people smarter. It makes people more rational and more informed. Okay, that's a huge claim to make, but I'll show you how that is the case. So let's keep going. After we click to enter, we get the login and registration screen. There's a lot of important conceptual information on this screen. Actually, all of the screens we will be looking at today have a lot of important conceptual information. But this video is a quick start video, and for now I just want to show you the big picture. However, for those of you who want to know a lot more in detail, I plan to make more videos that explain everything later, so definitely subscribe for that. But this is the user agreement. It is very short and simple. It is intended to protect us all. It is essentially the constitution of Egora. Now, the registration form is also very simple. It asks for your name, which has to be your real name, but it is up to you what form of your name you use. For example, you can use just your first name, or just your last name, or first name and last name, and so on. Next, Egora asks for your nation. This is important because your nation are the people that you want to work with to control your government. To keep things simple right now, basically just say what feels right, and you can change it later if you have to. And of course, you have to provide your email address and create a password. After you register, you will have to confirm your email address. Now, I'm just going to log in with my own personal account. Okay, we're inside of Egora. Here in the menu bar, we see 6 different main screens: Egora, Home, Users, Indexes, Meetings, Campaigns, and an account management screen. Now, we start out on the Egora screen, which is a very important rallying point in the Agora. Remember how Egora asks for your nation? Well, here we see the different nations in Egora. But specifically, these are the nations of the members of the International Logic Party. according to how many members there are from each nation. When you first registered, you are not yet declared as a member of the International Logic Party. You can do that later from the home screen if you want to, but that's why you might not see your nation reflected here. Only ILP members are listed here because we're using the Agora for official political purposes. But all of the users, both ILP members and non-members, are counted here in Agora users. And just in case you get tired of listening to me, you can open this letter of introduction from Agora Administrator, which also gives you a pretty good overview of the Agora. But if you're still with me, let's keep going. The next screen is the home screen. This is all about you. Well, actually, this is my home screen, so this is all about me. But this is where you express yourself philosophically and politically by building your ideological profile. The ideological profile is your existential, political, economic, social, and personal philosophy. It is a set of ideas that most closely represent your thoughts. But this is not just any set of ideas. You see here, these ideas are actually structured in a very specific format, going from 23 down to 1. And again from 023 to 01. I'm not going to explain the 0-point ideas right now, but 23 is basically the most points that you can give to an idea, and 1 is the least. This structure incentivizes the user to logically build their ideas on top of one another, from the most fundamental ideas to the most derivative ideas. Basically, it makes people look at things more rationally. But hey, you can look at my ideological profile and decide for yourself if you think it's organized rationally. Another thing you will notice here is that ideas have two main types of relevance. You see, some ideas like these here, these are universal ideas. This means that they can be created and shared by all of the Agora users from any nation. But some ideas, like this one here, they are national ideas. My nation is USA, and so this idea is specific to my nation. By clicking this open button, I can see the idea in full. I can change how many points I give to it. I can remove it from my ideological profile completely. And when we exit, I can of course create new ideas by clicking this button here. Now, by having these ideas in my ideological profile, I'm giving them these point values, 23 down to 1. But I'm not the only person doing that. My ideas are also shared by other people, and so other people are also giving points to these ideas. And here in this field, you can see the total number of points that an idea has from all of the Agora users. They are called IDI points. IDI is short for Idea Dominance Index. Real quick, this is the user screen. Here you can search for other Agora users if they want you to find them. Also, here you can keep track of people whose philosophies you find interesting. For example, this is Taras Hreniv. His company Walton Street Web Design is supporting the Agora website by hosting it, and he has some great ideas. And I say that because we support nearly all of the same ideas. Okay, here we have the Idea Dominance Index. The IDI is the flagship function of Agora. This is the meeting ground of all ideas, but specifically it is a listing of ideas according to how many points a particular idea has. Now, to generate the IDI, we have to specify the relevance category of those ideas. This means that we have to specify if we want to look at just our own nation's ideas, or just the universal ideas, or various combinations. In this video, I want to show you all categories except Agora, and I click Generate. So here we are. These are all of the universal and national ideas that Agora users support. There's quite a lot, and there are quite a bit of really great ideas here. But these ideas are organized from most strongly to least strongly supported. And this idea here is right now the #1 idea in the world. It has this many points from this many supporters. This idea is in second place. It has this many points from this many supporters, and so on. You get what's going on here. Now, why is this important? This is important for two reasons. The first reason is that this allows us, the people, to have a really clear idea of what people think and why. But remember, this is not just some opinion poll with pre-formulated leading questions. This is people's carefully articulated, time-tested, and integrated philosophies. When you begin to read these ideas in detail, you will see how this is the body of the collective human political wisdom, and we can use this wisdom as a basis of comparison to judge what our governments are doing versus what we demand from them. The second reason that the idea dominance index is important is related to this final function here, campaigns. So we're going to skip the meetings function for a moment. Egora is ultimately a tool for the International Logic Party to organize itself, including the nomination of political candidates. So here in this campaign screen, we're able to use a very simple algorithm to actually create political candidates who most closely represent the ideas of the people. So for example, I'm going to announce myself as a candidate to be the head of state of my nation, which is President of the United States of America. Now, just to clarify, I do not actually want to be President of the USA, but I'm going to use myself as an example. Anyways, I have announced myself as a candidate, and then I type in my nation. And then I click Generate. And here we have it. This is the list of candidates for the International Logic Party nomination to be the President of the USA. Okay, I guess I'm the only one. But hey, we need candidates. We need real leaders to step up for every nation. Anyway, the essential thing is that this list is based on how closely these candidates support the ideas of the people in the Idea Dominance Index, based on which ideas I have in my ideological profile and how many points those ideas have on the Idea Dominance Index. This score is calculated. So using the IDI, we're not just finding out what the people want. We can also find people who will actually make happen what the people want. Basically, this campaign's function is like a factory assembly line of ideal political candidates. Even if one of them fails us, we will have a whole list of people who are ready to replace them. Now, what's really awesome about this is that this actually makes the whole system incorruptible. And the explanation for this is that, yeah, someone could potentially cheat the system, get to the top of the list, and maybe even get elected into office. But the important thing is that even if someone did do that, which is extremely unlikely, the point is that they cannot make a career out of cheating the system. They cannot make a career out of being dishonest politicians the way that politicians do it now. And that's basically because it is simply not worth their time. In the system, it is not worth the time of dishonest people to go into politics. And that's because for all of the time and effort they might put into cheating the system will simply replace them with someone else in the next election, someone better. So if the International Logic Party politicians fail the people in any way, they are finished forever. We simply have, well, we will have too many other good people waiting in line on the list. Okay, one more thing I have to add is to clarify that this function to nominate candidates still has to be significantly developed. You can read about that here in the guide. Basically, software costs money, and we could really use some more of it. You know what I mean. So now, you understand how the stock market technology works with ideas. But we skipped over one essential feature, the meetings function. And this is actually the heart of the system. See, if you recall from the beginning, the whole point of all of this technology is to help people communicate in a citizen democracy on a large scale. Not to do away with it, but to enhance it. So the way that this technology is meant to be used is in real-life meetings of the people. And what we have here is a way for Agora users to organize and find out about various meetings of the International Logic Party happening around the world. So let's see what we have here. We have some meetings in Poland, Wrocław, on this date. This is the meeting that I'm personally organizing, and that's it at the moment for real-life meetings. But of course, if you're willing and able, you can schedule some meetings yourself to discuss Egora ideas with other people in your hometown. However, we also have this, Egora Society Continuous Global Meeting, which is happening in a Facebook group at this web address. I have this link open in this tab, so let me show you. The purpose of this Facebook group is specifically so that Agora users from around the world can connect with one another to exchange ideas whenever and wherever it is convenient for them. Yes, Egora should actually be used in person, but for those who might not have that opportunity right now, you can join the rest of us in this group. Here you can post your ideas and promote them. You can discuss them with others to explain them or develop them. And of course, you can learn about other people's ideas and communicate with them. So there you have it, folks. This is what Agora is about. But I just want to wrap this up with a few closing thoughts. First, using Agora is real political work. This is not just talking about ideas. This is people making individual decisions about specific ideas. Yes, these are individual decisions, and if we look at them in isolation from one another, they mean very little in the gigantic political environment. But we are not looking at them in isolation from one another. The purpose of Agora is to collect and aggregate all of those individual decisions and show everyone what the people think together. Second, when you really think about what we do here, Agora does not require us to do any more work than we should already be doing as responsible citizens. What do I mean by that? Okay, tell me if you disagree on any one of these points. As a responsible citizen, you should be, number one, developing your political philosophy. This is important so that you can judge whether your country is on the proper course or not. You should have your own political philosophy so that you have a base of comparison to what the politicians are telling you. Number two, as a responsible citizen, you should publish your political philosophy. There are two reasons for this. If you have done a good job developing your political philosophy, please share it with the rest of us so we can learn from you. It is only to your advantage if you make other citizens smarter. And the second reason is that if you did not do a good job, or if you made mistakes in your political philosophy, other responsible citizens can help you improve it. And the explanation here is the same as for the first reason. Other responsible citizens want to help you with your political philosophy because that helps us. And number three, as a responsible citizen, you should be meeting and communicating with other responsible citizens because that's how we share ideas with one another. I mean, there's really no way around that. So you see, these three things that we should already be doing as responsible citizens, this is exactly what we do with Egora. The difference is that through Egora, we're able to organize and manage that information way more efficiently and way more effectively than was ever possible before. Now, the third and final thought I want to leave you with here is that this is the real deal. You actually have real political power here, and everything you do counts. We hope that you will actively use Agora, that you will engage others to discuss your ideas, that you will organize international Logic Party meetings, and maybe even that you will become a candidate of the International Logic Party. Seriously, we hope you will rise up to this challenge, because it is time for us, the people, to take control of our governments. But even if you just use Agora to express yourself and share ideas with others, you will greatly contribute to our community. But if for whatever reason you're not ready to do any of that, then please at least like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video on Facebook or other social media. Because maybe this video will get to someone else, and maybe you will help us make a new leader. Maybe you will help us find the next president of your country. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the democratic evolution. The R is silent. And see you in the Agora.